Remember back then, up in the can, looking at some time up in the system. The man in the gown had your life in his hand with the stroke of a pen. Your sentence begins. Remember back then, up in the can, looking at some time up in the system. The man in the gown had your life in his hand with the stroke of a pen. Your sentence begins. At times I don't give a damn about nothing. These negative thoughts, but will it solve a thing? The fact that I'm real, them haters all mad. Get back before you wind up mixed match. Asking questions, where the fuck's your crew at? Don't be dumb, then you'll be a screw cat. On the cool, sometimes I wanna act a fool, but I don't, cause I know it brings trouble too. I was barely 13, now they got me on papers. 15 got arrested for a major gun case. Next thing you know, I'm staring at the judge's face. In my mind you're racist, fuck leaving a statement. That's when the situation gets real tense. Will I run or will I do my time behind these bricks? Now you're feeling sick, but you gotta deal with it. I was moving too quick, with this shit ever quit? Remember back then, up in the can, looking at some time up in the system. The man in the gown had a life in his hand with the stroke of a pen. Your sentence begins. Remember back then, up in the can, looking at some time up in the system. The man in the gown had your life in his hand with the stroke of a pen. Your sentence begins.
The reason why I'm facing to the 20 is because you quick to judge, they hold a grudge. But a real Mexican like me, I won't budge. I only get back to the system what the system has created. Menace to society? That shit's overrated. I'm hated by most, but I'm loved by plenty. Consider me envied, and yet I'm still in my 20s. I know y'all motherfuckers still hate what I got, hate what I'm doing, hate that I'm making it, and hate it so I won't stop.
Back in the day, I was caught in the web, fighting off demons as the white devil's battle for my soul, stuck in time with no way out. On be the one showing down battles, what I'm all about. From the south to the land of steel, gotta prove you're real, if not your ass might get boxed up. Gangsters with no love and don't give a fuck, chop your ass up and leave you sticking in the lines.
Remember back then, up in the can, looking at some time up in the system. The man in the gown had your life in his hand with the stroke of a pen. Your sentence begins.
I was 14 years old when I caught my first case. Remember the first time I saw the judge's face. He had a black gown on and a hammer in his hand. He was like, sir, 5 years probation. I was like, fuck, but it didn't keep me from smiling. I knew from that moment I would get what charges. I was 18 years old when I got my second case. Resisting and evading, got sprayed in the face. Cops wanted to see me locked behind bars, but I knew one day I would make it far. Fuck these motherfucking pussies out here running their mouth. Mr. Brown with GCP, we gonna take over the South. If you got beef with them, you got beef with Mr. Brown. I'ma show you fucking faggots how these Mexicans get down.
Remember back then, up in the can, looking at some time up in the system. The man in the gown had your life in his hand with the stroke of a pen. Your sentence begins. Remember back then, up in the can, looking at some time up in the system. The man in the gown had your life in his hand with the stroke of a pen. Your sentence begins. Remember back then, up in the can, looking at some time up in the system.
This is my life and I'ma live it how I want. I ain't did that much time, just a couple of months. But if you fuck with me, I'm guaranteed to give you the crump. I ain't scared of nothing, I just don't wanna waste your time. But if you test me, mama, just ride me, don't be crying. But also I'm trying my hardest to stay on that straight line. I ain't trying to hurt my kids and be gone for a long time. That's why I don't play with life, I just leave it all behind.
Remember back then, up in the can, looking at some time up in the system. The man in the gown had your life in his hand with the stroke of a pen. Your sentence begins. Remember back then, up in the can, looking at some time up in the system. The man in the gown had your life in his hand with the stroke of a pen. Your sentence begins.